Hello and welcome to Sovereign Moves. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the latest insights.
For 40 years, the global economy relied on a single, massive artery of trade. China operated as the uncontested factory of the world, shipping finished consumer goods directly from its ports to Western markets. That system has reached a breaking point. A wave of U.S. tariffs starting in 2018, which accelerated through 2026, fractured the established geometry of the global network, making the direct shipment of Chinese goods significantly more expensive. This chart tracks the scale of that collapse. Looking at the bottom dark segment, you can see a 12% drop year-on-year in the U.S. mainland China corridor. In total, traditional trade along this route has fallen by roughly 30%. Instead, they are triggering a high-stakes race between nations to capture the world's manufacturing wealth. In response to the tariff shock, corporations have adopted a strategy called China Plus One. They are de-risking their supply chains by relocating final assembly out of China to alternative locations across Asia. The immediate winners of this shift are the members of ASEAN. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore have become the primary hubs absorbing the tech manufacturing exodus. This data shows the resulting surge in ASEAN's export performance. Between 2024 and 2025, the region reached a 13.6% compound annual growth rate as it took over the assembly of consumer electronics and laptops once concentrated in China. This chart breaks down that macro surge into specific winners. Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia are all recording double-digit growth, with exports increasing by as much as 16% in a single year. ASEAN's existing trade networks made it the pragmatic choice for rapid assembly relocation. The China Plus One strategy isn't just a theory, it's actively rewriting the roots of global commerce. There is a second massive assembly node emerging in India. Backed by government production-linked incentives and a boom in AI infrastructure, facilities like this are capturing massive amounts of foreign investment. The shift is clearly visible in the data. While the United States slashed smartphone imports from China, it increased imports of smartphones from India by roughly $15 billion. But there is a strategic pivot happening beneath the surface. China is not being defeated by this exodus. It is moving upstream to become the factory to the factories. This chart highlights China's new export strategy. While final consumer goods dropped, intermediate goods like memory chips, components, and battery parts rose by 9%. China is now the primary supplier of core materials to ASEAN and Indian assembly nodes. This reveals the true nature of the global supply chain. The world hasn't decoupled from China. Instead, it has merely decentralized the final stage of assembly while deepening its reliance on Chinese-made core components. The old bilateral trade line is gone. It has been replaced by a decentralized Asian supply web, where China serves as the deep-tier supplier to Indian and ASEAN assemblers. This architecture is anchored by the industries defining the coming decades: artificial intelligence, semiconductors, data centers, and clean energy. The scale of regional dominance is measured in the hardware powering modern computing. Of the world's 40 largest semiconductor trade corridors, 33 involve Asia alone. The assumptions that underpinned globalization for 40 years are dead. Trade policy is no longer separate from geopolitics. It is now the primary tool of industrial strategy and national security. The global map has been permanently redrawn. The nations and corporations that can successfully integrate into this multipolar Asian network will dictate the wealth and power of the 21st century.
That brings us to the end of today's analysis. If you found this breakdown valuable, a simple way to support the channel is by hitting that like button. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the forces shaping our world. Thanks for watching Sovereign Moves, and I'll see you in the next one.